You know, I like.
Hiya!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Jamz with Joe, Shak, and Sam. And today we are reviewing Queens of the Stone Age's new song, "The Way You Used to Do." So let's jam. So, Queens of the Stone Age are a quite famous, quite big rock band that have been around for a fair few years now.
Mm-hmm.
They make kind of hard rock, you know. Yeah.
Stoner rock is
Bluesy.
associated with them.
Yeah. They're a bit throwback. They're a bit, for lack of a better term, they're a bit new age dad rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Fuck off.
you can definitely expect a dad to love all of their albums. No one would be surprised if a dad could jam to a bit of Queens of the Stone.
I know what you mean, and it's not to the detriment of the band.
No, it's not. It doesn't make them bad. You know, Led Zeppelin's dad rock, and I fucking love them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's whatever. But yeah, they definitely have a throwbacky feel, which is a good segue into this song because it's extremely throwback. It's probably one of the more from what I've heard of them, which is kind of just a few albums like Songs for the Deaf, Lullabies to Paralyze, Rated R, a bit of like Clockwork, that sort of thing.
It's been 4 years since Like Clockwork, I think.
Yeah,
2013. It's my favourite album of that year.
Yeah, but this stands out as being even more throwback than kind of like some of the throwback that they do, because there is definitely still a kind of modernity in a lot of their music, but this feels very 60s, 70s hard rock vibe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to kick it off, I think Holmes' voice is on point as always. Really,
Absolutely.
He's got an amazing voice, man.
Yeah, I think his vocals are consistently a high point of Queen's music.
It's so just soulful, but like really versatile as well. He can do like the really low growly shit like on Burn the Witch, but then he can do like these really high pitched, soulful, bluesy moments as well.
Yeah, and he has
really talented.
He has a very like soft tone that he uses as well, and like he has his voice as well that he uses in this song and other songs. It's almost like kind of like inherently psychedelic-y voice that he has.
Yeah, I think psychedelic is a something you could often use to describe Queens' music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I think there's nothing you can really say bad about his vocals. Maybe like they're solid. It'd be a good way.
They're my favourite part of this whole track.
Yeah, same.
And he's good at making music to suit his vocals as well, because like this bluesy kind of like swing dance tune that is going through most of this song is just perfect for what he lays over it.
Yeah. So I like how kind of fuzzed and kind of electric-y the guitars in the verse are. Mm-hmm. They have a nice tone to them.
Don't know what it was about the guitars, but the riff reminds me of another Queen's track, 666. If the gaps between the lead guitars on that track were filled with other guitars.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure if either of you kind of feel the same, but that's how it felt for me.
I don't really know the song. So.
I don't know if I agree with that personally.
Okay.
I think the guitar gives off a completely different kind of vibe in this.
Fair enough.
Because 666 is like gives off like creepy vibes.
Well, not in terms of tone. I meant more specifically in terms of rhythm.
Just literally how it's put together.
Yes.
I think there's definitely a very, again, this is it's quite a callback to that kind of 70s hard rock style where the rhythm here is very kind of like like trucking on, kind of, like very very consistent, very like, I don't know how to explain it,
Suddenly,
but yeah, just on the road. You get that on the road feel with this.
They do it all the time, I swear. Like, it's just easygoing kind of. Mm-hmm. It's just that feeling, like stuff like Go With The Flow. Like, there's a lot of the time, like in songs like No One Knows, a lot of their bigger hits, there is just like a constant beat through the song.
Yeah.
Because like in this song, throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. 666, it's that same dun dun dun.
So I think it's how pronounced the riff is, which makes it, because the difference between this song and a song like Go With The Flow or No One Knows, those songs, they have a much more alternative feel, where you can hear the influences from the alternative rock genre.
Right,
which
feels like it could have jumped straight out of...
Yeah, this is a lot more hard rock because the riff is very pronounced. It's almost like I wouldn't call it a new direction for them, but it's kind of like maybe because of all the sounds they've done, because they've done multiple sounds, they've been going for ages. They're kind of going up one of their avenues a lot, I'd say, with this sound.
That's fair, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like usually there's quite a lot of darkness in what they do. Okay. There's always a slight tinge of like sinister. Mm-hmm. There's a slight spookiness to it a lot of the time, especially on albums like Lullabies to Paralyze.
Yeah, I get that.
A really spooky album, but this is like completely not there at all.
I feel like that's been replaced with a kind of mischievous vibe rather than
it's pretty
horror.
Playful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say my only issues with this song is just that the riff does get a bit repetitive, and I just feel like this song might be a bit overly simple for me. Like, I don't feel like there's much depth here. Like, the riff changes up a little bit, but that's nothing that you wouldn't expect from a regular hard rock song. They'll throw in other riffs around the midpoint. It just doesn't really offer that much, I suppose. Like, it doesn't really make me super hyped for the album. It doesn't really make me like, oh man, I wonder what's on this. Like, it's not really bursting with ideas, it just feels like a decent song. I don't know. It kind of felt like not much special for me.
My biggest problems with it is that we've highlighted Hom's vocal delivery as a highlight of this track, but whether it's due to the lyrics or the lack of spotlight they're given, or like breathing room or whatever, like nothing that he's singing about really shines or sticks with me other than the title of the track, I guess. And there's a point where they start using clapping percussion, and I know that you don't like that, and it did really irk me in this track in particular. And in general, like, the whole percussion of this track just sounds very thin. I get that that's the kind of tone that they're going for, but generally speaking, drums on a Queens of the Stone Age album, Songs for the Deaf in particular, are they're pretty full and they're a highlight, so it took a bit of adjusting to get used to that, and I'm still not sure whether I'm entirely behind it or not.
Fair enough. I know what you mean about saying that it just might seem a little redundant in its structure. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit simple. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. And I know what you mean when you say like it's not like challenging or anything. Something really it's not that exciting, really. Yeah. I don't know. It still sounds like Queens of Stone Age on form, but it's
a strange choice for a teaser track, I think.
Maybe.
Feels like it could just be an album song, I guess. I don't know. I get that it's catchy though, so I can see that dimension of why they would release it as a single.
Yeah, especially with the the whole video they did for announcing their new album. It's got that kind of funny vibe to it.
Yeah.
So
that was a good video.
Potentially, it's a really good video. The announced trailer.
Yep.
So I guess this kind of goes along with that. Maybe that's why they did it. Mm-hmm. Going for like a kind of easygoing, funny, but as the album's called Villains, I definitely am expecting a lot more darker cuts, because this isn't the only thing I want to hear on a Queens of the Stone Age album.
Definitely not. No.
Yeah, I'm aware of that Queens of the Stone Age can do, quite interesting things, and they've got. Like I say, they've been going a long time. They have a lot of different sounds. They've explored different avenues. They're not like they're not an experimental group in the kind of like really sense of the word of experimental. But they do explore different things with their music, and I guess I'd hope to see that turning up on the album, because I definitely wouldn't want to hit a whole album like this, and because they usually have quite diverse music even within an album.
Yeah. Like
Songs for the Deaf and Lullabies to Paralyze. They don't all sound very similar. It's the same genre, but it's not like, it's It's not like listening to like, I don't know, like
there's
death
there's
metal album or
dynamics
something.
to them.
Yeah.
Maybe not, yeah.
Yeah, like while you say like they aren't particularly experimental, I can't think of a band really that do what they do besides them. Like other people have done this kind of sound before. But that whole like what they do on Lullabies to Paralyze, like I've never heard an album like that before.
Yeah, I'd say they definitely have a unique sound. They're very recognizable for sure. And Lullabies to Paralyze is a I get what you mean. It's individual.
I think they are unique.
Yeah, but
Very unique.
when I say experimental, I mean like they're not pushing genre boundaries. Really.
Yeah.
They're not like making like noise industrial or something.
But I think it's cool that they've managed to find their own signature groove within like such a done and dusted genre like blues rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool that they can find something completely unique in that
to do, for sure.
That's why I've been a big fan for like years.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, my overall thought of this song would be that it's fine, it's decent. I don't know if I'd return to it. Like, I'll return to it when the album comes out and I'm listening to the album, but I have no will to kind of go back and listen to it. And I don't think it's all that just interesting, really. I'm not sure I really feel many ideas going on, and there's just not much that excites me about it. So, I'd give it like a low 6. Like, it's okay, like, but it's just not that much for me.
That's fair enough. I'd say, I think I'm going to give it a low to decent 7 because I do really enjoy it. And whilst it isn't a challenging or like anything new for Queens of the Stone Age, I can't help but get excited for a new album because of how much I enjoy their previous albums, especially like Clockwork and Songs for the Deaf and stuff like that. Like, I'm interested to see whether they can still keep delivering really, because I feel like there are songs like this on all of their albums.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's doomed to the album at all. Like,
definitely not. I feel like they are going to still deliver a really unusual album like they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're pretty good at defying expectations.
Me personally, I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7. This is certainly an enjoyable track, and I feel like Queens of the Stone Age capture that kind of like weird Americana vibe really well, and there are elements of that on this. But, I'm just hoping that we don't end up with like Clockwork being this kind of lightning in a bottle moment where they were on like hiatus for so long, came back swinging, and I don't want them to kind of fall back into the kind of quality that we had on Era Vulgaris, which is probably my least favourite Queen's album.
Fair enough. Strong 6 to a light 7, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I like Queens of the Stone Age, but they definitely have like sounds that I'm not too into, and they have sounds that I am into, and they're not like a favourite of mine, and I wouldn't say I was like hyped for the album, but I'm just more interested because I know they can produce things that are really down my alley. Like, I really like Lullabies to Paralyze. It's always kind of a guess with Queens, because like you say, that most of the time an album has a fair few sounds on it. So, it's kind of like a lottery with me in Queens of the Stone Age when I listen to them. Thank you everybody for listening. If you guys have listened to The Way You Used to Do, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please let us know. And stay tuned for the next thing that we release, which will be very soon, I'm sure. Goodbye.